I'm Danny Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I'm joined today by David Shearin, who is with Street Life Ministries. I should say, Pastor Dave, welcome.
That's fine.
Thanks so much for sharing about Street Life Ministries.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of getting to know you and your organization in the last several months, and it is amazing the work that you do. So before we jump into an event that you're going to be doing at the end of this summer, very important to our community, tell us a little bit about what you do and what Street Life Ministries is all about.
Yeah. So Street Life Ministries, we are we're a homeless feeding ministry that kind of like church on the street. Our folks gather Mondays and Wednesdays in Redwood City, Tuesdays and Thursdays Menlo Park train station, and then Monday nights in Palo Alto. And we're kind of a late night meal at 7 o'clock at night for folks to gather. We do it kind of a later evening because we really just want to get the folks who are homeless. So we know that most people who are housed aren't going to come out at that time of night. So we really want to cater to the folks that live on the street, and and also it's easier for our folks to come out at night. There's nobody looking at them and stuff like that. And so we have an opportunity to build a relationship, have good conversations over really good food, like we were talking about earlier. We've got a lot of organizations that donate just really good food to us. So good food usually puts on a happy face, and the happy face brings on a good conversation. So we have plenty of time to be able to get real and get a good conversation about what's going on in people's lives.
So what made you start to think about this kind of work and doing Street Life Ministries?
So Street Life Ministries was called Street Church, which was started by a gentleman who you and I both know, Tony Gapastone, about 6.5 years before I came to it. I was actually at an AA meeting. It was around 2007-ish, almost 8, when the economy just completely fell out and everybody was losing their jobs and houses were foreclosing. And so I was one of thousands of people who got laid off at that time, and I was at an AA meeting. My sponsor knew about the ministry and told me that I should go feed the homeless. So I went down there just, kicking and screaming because I was in my head about losing my job. And I showed up and I ran into 3 guys that very first night that I was homeless with when I was on the streets. And I spent the next couple months helping them get off the street. And from that point forward, I knew I was called to be at the ministry.
And so what's the sort of aha moment that you had once you got involved and really started having deep conversations with the individuals that have been living on the street? It's different than what I think the rest of us are going to be conjuring up in our mind when we think of homeless individuals. Tell us a little bit about these individuals as people.
Sure. I'd have to say that, when you sit down with some of our folks and you really, really spend time to get to know a lot of our folks, you realize that our issues aren't much different. Anxiety, depression, worries. A lot of our folks, and myself included, I share this because I went through homelessness, I went through drug addiction, so I kind of understand this from that standpoint where, you get to a point in your life where you feel like, every time I try, even though that my trying might be half as much as I should try, every time I try, I fail. So you get to a point where you just say, forget it. I'm not going to try because what's the point?
Right.
And so it's at that place where you find that person that's really just actually what they're saying to you is, help me. Right. I want to try, but I can't do it by myself. And I learned that in Salvation Army when I was getting clean and sober, that I've tried to get sober on my own many times. And I realized that once I went into Salvation Army that it wasn't something that I can do on my own. And I had to have a team of people to help me. And so when I get around somebody and I realize that that's the only way they're going to get help is if we do this together.
Right.
And then that's when you see the light bulb come on. And that's when you see lives change. And it's just amazing.
And it's true. It takes a village, because each time you have one of these meals in the communities, you really have the community coming out to help you, volunteering and food sources and things like that. So any of our viewers, please jump on the Street Life Ministries website.
Yes,
because
please.
You always need volunteers to help with food service. And you also offer supplies to individuals that are living on the street, sleeping bags and clothing and all those kinds of other resources that they can tap into that our community provide. So you don't exist just out of the goodness of your heart. You need funding. You need to raise money. You have great support from communities. So you have an event coming up in the end of August.
Yes.
To help raise money and awareness and unite communities. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so our Director of Operations, Scott Dixon, came up with this really cool idea to have a fundraiser called One City United. And basically what the idea is that we've realized that here in San Mateo County, there's a lot of people that we feel might not understand, because I see it on Nextdoor, I see it on Facebook, I see it on Twitter, where people are constantly making comments like, why isn't somebody doing something?
Right.
And the thing is that there's a lot of us actually out there trying to do something about homelessness. And so this is an opportunity for a one-day sporting event, competition, followed with a concert at the end at Woodside High School, for all of the people to come out to see that we're going to have tons of recovery houses there. Fair Oaks Community Center is going to be there. The city, the mayor, the police, the sheriff, all the agencies that we work with on a day-to-day basis that are actually in the trenches trying to do something are actually going to be there the day of. So anybody who's a part of Redwood City or Woodside or Atherton or whatever that could come and join and be a part of it, it would be a great opportunity for them to ask all those questions and realize that there's thousands of us out there trying to help out.
Right. It's part of dispelling the myth. My earlier question was telling us a little bit about the human side of people who are facing homelessness.
Yeah.
Because we have this one picture of what that might look like. And also, too, we have our very short view of what is happening, because we all just feel like, well, everybody must be failing because nothing is happening. Well, there's a lot happening. It's a very complex issue, and it's hard to have those community conversations in 10 minutes as we're trying to have on Penn Voice. It's a very complex issue. So it's a great way for folks to come out with their kids, with their families, with their pets, and enjoy some really fun. Tell us a little bit about the sporting competitions, because I think some of them are going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, so we are, it's like an Olympic event, and so we're going to have a human fuse ball, sumo wrestling, we're going to have a salsa making contest, and we're going to have basketball and baseball and a track event, and so we're doing some fun things. We're kind of thinking outside the box, and we'll have jumpers there. We're going to have a lot of stuff for kids. It's the event itself is for 18 and up, but we are going to have other stuff there for kids to hang out, and we also, Scott Dixon, our Director of Operations, he's working with ICN Media. That's going to have, it's all going to be live. So it's going to be live stream. So you'll have, at the end of the event, we're going to have Lincoln Brewster do a concert. But right before the concert, we're going to do air guitar and karaoke, and so people will be able to vote for their favorite person online. So you can text in your vote. So we want to try to get people to participate and to donate. They'll be able to donate through the texting, and so it'll be a lot of fun. We're hoping that a lot of people will get engaged with this.
I thought one of the funnest things is corporations could enter teams in some of these sporting events, and also individuals could gather their neighborhood and enter a team to do some of these sporting events. I think it'll be such a great time, and we'll put the challenge out there right now. Facebook against Google.
That'd be awesome.
Let's see what happens in the sumo wrestling.
So we have Chan Zuckerberg is going to be there, and on June 22nd, anybody who wants to come out, I think it's from 12 to 2, Sports Basement in Redwood City is going to host us. So we're trying to get registration. So on June 22nd from 12 to 2, we're going to have lunch, and they're going to open up their doors. They're going to have it set up where we can have about 300 people come. We're going to do a barbecue, and you can come register. And Sports Basement is also coming on board to be one of our corporate sponsors.
And we know that you have a list of ways in which people can support the event through in-kind donations, through corporate sponsorship, through band sponsorship, all these different ways. And they just need to jump on your website and look at the packet of all the different ways that you need help and support. What do you hope to raise from this event, and how essential is that then going to be in delivering services to Street Life Ministries? So
we're trying to raise $1 million. So we're also going to share some of the sponsorships with some of the other agencies that are there, but we are the primary recipient of the donations for Street Life Ministries. Our whole goal is we want to start a culinary school. So we are launching a campaign to buy a building. We would like to have classrooms where we can start doing culinary teaching, school training, and life skill building. So this is the beginning of a launch for a campaign that we're hoping that's going to come on board. So if anybody sees this and wants to help us buy a building, we're ready.
A true live, work, train community that you're trying to build in full circle, where individuals can also give back to maybe something as simple as when they received a meal and some a big hug and some support.
That's right.
Well.
And if you want to register for the event, it's onecityunited.org.
onecityunited.org.
Yeah, it has its own
we'll make
website.
sure that's at the end of the program.
Awesome.
Once you and I end. So thank you, David,
thank
for
you
joining
so much.
us on Penn Voice. And we'll make sure you come back on a regular basis so that we hear all of the great work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Life Ministries.
Hey, I love coming here. Thank you so much.
And we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.